Welcome to the Creating Citable Collections of Language Resources in the Virtual Collection Registry screencast. In this short presentation, we will give an introduction into the concept of virtual collections and on the usage of the CLARIN Virtual Collection Registry, which is one of the services in CLARIN's core infrastructure. My name is Willem Elbers. I am one of the developers in the central CLARIN technical team and one of the contributors to the Virtual Collection Registry. So, what is a virtual collection? A virtual collection is a set of links to digital objects that can be easily collected, accessed, cited, downloaded, and processed. The links in a virtual collection can point to any digital object that's accessible via an URL or persistent identifier. These links can point to anything, but within CLARIN, they typically point to language resources, such as annotated text or audio or video files. The virtual collection is used to group related resources across different repositories together for easy citation and processing. The Virtual Collection Registry, or VCR, is a registry hosted by CLARIN where you can easily create, edit, and publish your virtual collections. The VCR is available at collections.clarin.eu and offers an overview of all publicly available collections by default. You can click on any collection to see its details or use one of the action buttons to either cite or download the collection. Before you can manage any collection, you have to log in first. After clicking the login button in the top menu bar, the authentication workflow will start. You have to first select your home organization. If you don't have an account at an academic institution in the list, you can select the CLARIN website account and register a new account that can also be used within the CLARIN infrastructure as a whole. After selecting an organization to log in, you are redirected to that organization's login page. In this example, I'm using my CLARIN website account. Log in with your credentials to complete the login workflow and get the redirect back to the Virtual Collection Registry. At this point, you should see your email or login name in the upper right corner now to indicate login was successful. There are also two new menu options available in the top menu if you are logged in successfully. My Collections, where you can manage your collections, and Create to create new collections. Let's start with creating a new collection. After logging in, click the Create menu option. This will bring you into the collection editor. In this editor, there are three sections to fill in. A section with some high-level metadata, such as a name, a description, and one or more keywords describing the collection as a whole. And a section with metadata describing one or more authors of the collection. For each author, we collect the name, email, and optionally an affiliation. And a section where you can add references to the collection by providing a URL and a title. Each reference undergoes a process of validation in the background. If a reference is valid, it's added to the collection and you can add a description if needed. If the reference is not valid, for example, it's not accessible without login, you can remove or update the reference. You can add as many references as needed. By default, the collection editor is shown in simple mode to collect basic metadata and use defaults for the more complex metadata fields. You can also select the Advanced Mode checkbox in the upper right corner if you want to see and edit these complex fields, but for most normal use cases this is not needed. Click the Save button if you're satisfied with the collection, and you can always edit the collection again as long as it has not been published yet. After saving the collection, you are shown the My Collections screen, and here you can see an overview of all your collections and the state they're in. A collection typically is in the private state while editing, and in the public state after publishing. Please note that a public collection should not be edited. While technically possible to correct mistakes, this is not intended. Instead, a new version can be created if changes are needed. For each collection, there's also a set of actions available to edit, publish, or delete the collection. Editing the collection will again open the collection in the collection editor, where you can change any field and add or remove references if needed. In addition to manually managing the resources in a collection, where you have to add them individually, you can also use search results from the CLARIN Virtual Language Observatory. This allows you to add multiple references simultaneously. If you go to vlo.clarin.eu and do a search, for example, you can search for polished text, this will give you a number of results that can be added to a queue by clicking on the plus VCR button for the result. Each result that you add to the queue is shown in a pop-up in the lower right corner of the screen. In this pop-up, you can also remove items from the queue if needed. And if you're happy with the queue, with the items in the queue, click the Submit button to send the result to the Virtual Collection Registry. After clicking the Submit button, you're redirected to the Virtual Collection Registry, where you can see a short summary of the submission and a basic list of your private collections. Here you can choose to start a new collection based on the submission by clicking the Add as New Collection button, or to add the submission to an existing collection you're working on by first selecting the target collection from the list and then selecting the Merge with Collection button. You can also still cancel the submission and start again without any modification to any of your collections at this point. To make your collection citable, you have to make it public first by clicking the Publish action in the My Collections overview. You will see a pop-up that asks for your confirmation. Click Publish here to start the publication process. During the publication process, the collection will be queued for publication. And in this process, there's a final round of checks to make sure that all the references are still accessible at time of publication, and the collection is also assigned a DOI. A spinning icon is shown in the user interface to indicate that this publication process is ongoing. After a while, the collection should automatically go into the public state, and at this point, your collection is accessible and citable by others. To cite a collection, you can simply click the Cite button in the public collection browser or on the collection details page. This will show a pop-up with all the relevant citation information for that collection. When sharing a collection, always use the link from the citation dialog based on the collection DOI instead of a link in the browser's address bar. This concludes this short introduction into virtual collections and into the Virtual Collection Registry. If you're interested, you can try the service yourself, either via the VLO integration on vlo.clarin.eu or via the Virtual Collection Registry directly on collections.clarin.eu. Thank you for watching.